and welcome to Page 25. Today's episode is about a good friend of mine known as Sly. Legal name was Sylvester McCurry Jr. Sly went out with a mutual friend in a neighboring city to Duluth, Minnesota called Superior, Wisconsin. A nightclub for youths was located 4 blocks away from the hotel room they secured for the night. At some point in the club, Sly was separated from this mutual friend. He was ejected out of the club by security for falling asleep at a table. He was last seen on camera footage of the nightclub stumbling up against the side of the building, crossing the street out of view of the camera lens. He was recovered on May 22nd in a shipping canal known as the Tower Base Slip in Superior, Wisconsin, several blocks in the opposite direction of his hotel room. It was negative 17 degrees that night. They were not dressed in proper winter attire, as they were only going 4 blocks from their hotel room to the nightclub. How Sly ended up almost half a mile in the wrong direction in a secluded area of a shipping canal in the water is a mystery to us all, and it would have been ice at that point in January unless a ship had recently come through. Now, Sly's blood alcohol content after the autopsy was performed was a 0.08. And because ethanol is a byproduct of decomposition, this is likely higher than it was at the time of his death. Yet he was seen falling asleep and stumbling up against the building. How often have you been that inebriated at a 0.08? Something to think about. Detective Chad Lalore was the lead investigator on the case. I had seen him before previously in Forensic Files on television. I had high hopes originally. Detective Chad Lalore tried to tell me and family that this was an accident, that Sly decided to abandon his hotel room, his friend, his plans, and go back to Duluth, not across the bridge, but across the ice, where he fell through and drowned. Very little water was present in his lungs, yet his death was ruled cold water immersion and drowning. It's just, I've lived this, and it's easy to say when you don't know the person. It's easy to say they must have walked out on the ice and fell through. But when you know the circumstances, you know their reliability and competence, and you know them. You know they wouldn't do that. I know he wouldn't do that because I wouldn't do that. Negative 17 degrees. It's freezing. Your hotel room is 4 blocks away. You walk several blocks, 5, 6 blocks, in the opposite direction of your hotel room in conditions that it is absolutely unbearable to be outside in. I don't believe it. Look into David Paulides and his Missing 411 series, where he's linked over 1,200 of these mysterious drowning cases. A lot of this stuff really gained a lot of attention when it became known as the smiley face murders. I never subscribed to that theory, and I still don't to this day. I do not believe this is a group of people doing this. If it is, it's a government entity. But I don't believe that. I believe we might be dealing with something far more unbelievable for most of you. But look into this phenomena. Investigate these cases. Eric Peterson went missing on the 22nd. Sly went missing on the 17th. Henry McCabe is one of the most... Henry McCabe and Chris Jenkins are 2 of the cases with the most evidence. And I urge you to look into both of those cases. And they are both in the vicinity of Minneapolis, St. Paul, which again is less than 100 miles from where my friend Sly was killed. And these drownings, allegedly, happen all over the Great Lakes area at an alarming rate. They happen worldwide, according to David Politis, but the numbers of this happening around the Great Lakes area is just astonishing. And you might say, well, yeah, it happens more there because there's more water there. But like I said, people aren't just drinking a little bit of alcohol and then deciding they're going to separate from friends and family and abandon their plans and then go walking off into the middle of nowhere and in nothingness where they freeze or drown. People aren't doing that. Not willingly. Well, this has been the first episode of Page 25 Missing Persons segment. We're gonna do a lot more. I want to cover Chelsea Grimm. I want to cover Daniel Robinson. But basically, we're just gonna run down the facts of the cases like this, and then you tell me what you think. But Sylvester Sly McCurry was a good person. I believe he had a lot of potential. I believe he would have been a great actor someday, and the world was robbed of that, and continues to be robbed of potential and life. And we need to figure this out together. Stay safe.